We have the country lead for Kenya, Erick Odipo. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes to the stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon. One of the things I really want to appreciate about this, about the organizers, about AWS, is just giving young professionals. And now young professionals, I take the liberty to say people who have just begun working and people who are students, giving young professionals exposure. You know, they are getting exposure to be seen, to be known, to be heard, because their voice matters. You know, 20 years ago, this may not have been possible. You really had to struggle to be visible, you know, to be seen, to be known. You really had to, you know. But you guys are getting fantastic platforms, fantastic. I mean, what Veliso is showing here, and every student who raised their hand up, I want to be a part of these incredible opportunities. Now, when you're being given opportunities to get yourself out there, to be known, to make your voice heard, I'd just like to inspire you to raise your hand, yeah? When you're given a choice, when you're given a chance, the thing you need to do is show up. Because when you show up, then you can be mentored, coached, trained. And so I have a responsibility this afternoon, to just inspire you. Just inspire. My name is Erick Odipo from Silicon Overdrive. A couple of years ago, I had just joined Silicon Overdrive, and among our first meetings, my manager says, well, let's hear, where were you before here? Where were you before here? So everybody had to say where they are. We were all in this department everyone had an AWS certification, doing something cloud-related. And I expected the standard answers. I was in this telecom, I was in this engineering firm, So come with me into that mentality. Imagine that is me. That's what I was thinking. So the first person goes like, oh, I was in the hospitality industry. Okay, yeah, I work in the hotel, etc. All right, I'm preparing myself. Okay, the next person. I'm still having my expectations, eh? The next person goes like, I was in the band. What? What band are you talking about? Music band, yeah? Was an artist. Then one of us quickly, you know, the naughty one quickly Googled and came with a band. And we can see the guy there with a guitar. This was their band. Yeah, we were doing shows. All right. So you can imagine my shock is still. Then the other one says, I was an English teacher. An English teacher. Okay. So now I was the odd one out. Because I'm the one coming from tech background, and I'm the one who has been in tech companies all these last years. Now, of all of them, only two of us were coming from a tech engineering background. So we were the odd one out. To top it all, my manager then, she was an air hostess. Like now, we were now feeling excluded. We were now feeling we need to have some, you know, campaign for the minority right here. So build, innovate, inspire. I want to interest you on something very interesting. The theme of today's AWS Community Day Summit has both corporate and personal application. But I want to dwell on the personal application. The things that we are learning here, I want to dwell on a personal application, but I will use corporate examples. Companies differentiate themselves by having something unique. They can have a unique product, a unique service, they can have a unique positioning. But there's something companies nowadays do where they have a unique blend. A unique blend where it's not just this one product nobody else has. Even learning institutions, it's not just this one product nobody else has. It is that one product plus a unique location plus a unique market area they are targeting. What I'm calling a unique blend. Therefore, the differentiator with companies is the blending, the unique blend, rather than just one unique thing. And I want to interest you in building that uniqueness at an individual level. When I graduated from university, people were building unique niches for themselves, by acquiring a very unique skill. So you would, some people were smart. They either go and do a very rare course, or they go and acquire a very unique, a very difficult certification. Or they go and specialize on a very specific tech skill. And that worked at that time. I remember once in our company, I met the guy. He was among the only people in this country who could splice fiber cables. Now, those of you who are in that space, you know, yeah, just splicing fiber cables. The thing that you see people do every day on the streets, eh? You walk out of your home, you find a guy there sitting splicing cables. Yeah? There was a time in this country, there were only 3 people who could splice fiber cables. And I met one of them. The guy was walking around like an astronaut. You know? And I remember he was sitting there, and then my workmate came and said, hey, that he's one of them. Said, that guy, he can splice cables. Yeah. And then he had come with that kit. There was a certain kit you had, eh? And he came with it, and he was splicing there. And we were all like an engineering wonder. You know, like we were all surrounding him, seeing him splice, and it was a wonder. And I had a bit of conversation with him, and you know, at least if I was in LinkedIn back then, I would have posted, hey, you know, I'm with this guy. Now, the challenge with that approach was the uniqueness seemed to be exclusive and limited to some, because now the training, that time, the people would do splicing courses in India. So it was very rare now for you to become unique because, I mean, the opportunities, it was a very unsustainable approach. And actually it's unsustainable. Time has proven, because assuming that guy maintained that skill and became the top splicer in Kenya, right now what job would he be doing? Yeah? You get it? So it's not a very sustainable approach. You need to add something. I want to introduce you to an opportunity that we all have today, and that is to build a unique blend. Build a unique blend. This is a step beyond. It's not irrelevant to have a unique skill, but I want to talk about building a unique blend where it's not just one skill or one piece of knowledge you have, but marshal up everything that constitutes you. Then that is the uniqueness. It may seem common. It may seem common that you are a Maasai, you grew up in Nairobi, you have a coast accent, you did medical, on top of that you have an AWS certification. All those seem common, isn't it? But when you blend them together, that's unique. That's unique. And that may be the single thing that will differentiate you. You can turn your circumstances, your circumstances to make your unique flavor. One of my mentors, she just retired, but one of the things that made her get into the job she got into was when she went for interviews, she was the only one who could speak 4 languages. And the interviewer said she lacked the main certifications and the primary certifications they wanted. The hiring manager said, I can train you where you are lacking, but I can't train them the languages you know. And said, you get on board. And then she got into a crash program to be upskilled. And she went top until she went top of Allah. By the time she was retiring, she was the lead in Africa of that international company. Yeah? You see, she used her unique blending to get in. So I want to challenge us, don't despise what you have. Yes, you can have 2 or 3 AWS certification, but plus a medical background. Only you have a certification, you work in a school, you are gifted in music, and you know Kenya Sign Language. Only you can speak 4 languages, you grew up in the ghetto, you are a cybersecurity specialist. But everything I've said is common to many people. But only you have that mix and blend. Eh? Only you have worked in a query. Yeah, ile amawe, stones. Only you can work in a query, understand structured query language. Yeah? And are building apps. By the way, there's a friend, back then, so let me disclaimer, my looks can be deceptive. Eh? Yeah, I started working 20 years ago. So this guy I worked with, this guy, he told me once why he was so endeared to his company. Like, they wouldn't let him go. Eh? Why he was so endeared. The owners of the company and the engineers and all that were from outside. They were so fascinated that he is an engineer and is a Maasai. To the extent his boss used to boast outside, can you imagine? In our company, we have a Maasai who is an engineer. I mean, that guy, well, he left the company a long time ago, but he's the one who left, yeah? He's the one who left. But he's still friends. You know, like, that thing always fascinated them. This guy's a Maasai and he's an engineer, you know. So, I want to inspire us as young professionals. Please, do not despise your background. It may be the differentiator required. Eh? Do not despise the other courses you did. Eh? I am involved in, sometimes I had the honor to mentor people in high school. And I see some of them despising, someone has just finished high school, they want this course, but they only have access to this one in terms of the capacity of their guardians to pay. And I tell them, just start with this one. Who knows, eh? This course you're doing, when you get to the one you want, the unique combination of someone who has done this and this, we may not get any other person who has that combination. But yet this is a common course, and this is also a common course. But that blending, the unique blending, is what I am telling you. So don't despise where you come from. Don't despise your other education. Don't despise the other skills that you may have acquired, because that unique blending of common skills is what the world needs. Now, you may ask, why is this relevant? I want to piggyback on something Vana said in the morning, where the world seems to be converging because of technology. You know, so all the fields, every field seems to be converging. Therefore, people with blended skills are becoming more relevant. So I would urge you, there are some things you have no control of. You know, you have no control which tribe you're brought into, how many languages you ended up speaking. You may not have a control of what was your path up to here. That's a unique blending. However, you have control of other things you can add to your mix. You have control of the jobs you pick, the business you pick. You have control of the exposure you get. You have control of the AWS certifications you can add. I want to challenge you, don't just do the AWS certification, add the AWS certification to your unique blend. Let it be now a differentiator. Let it be a differentiator. And when time comes, when they ask for who is it that understands children, has lived in a farm, is passionate about AI, and can speak 3 languages, it's your name that will show up. It's your name that will show up. The industry is giving way to professionals with blended uniqueness, as once separated areas of life are experiencing rapid convergence. And that's because of technology. So to my colleagues in the AWS community, to fellow young professionals, build, innovate, inspire. Build your personal niche. Build your personal niche. Then innovate out of your uniqueness. The uniqueness of your background, uniqueness of your gifts, skills, experiences. Blend that. Make a mix that is nowhere else. Then inspire the next generation out of who you are becoming. Because we all have a responsibility to leave footprints behind. Yeah. Thank you, and have a good day.
Wow, 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 wow.